Hello, EKN Nation. Welcome to a new edition of This Week in Karting, episode number 101. It's August 25th, 2026. My name's Rob Howden, joined by David Cole. Lots to talk about on this edition of the show. All of this news, of course, coming from the homepage of ekartingnews.com. We've got SCUSA Super Nationals. We're talking Rock Vegas, FIA Karting, talking about the new Cascadia Grand Prix event. There's a ton to talk about in this edition of the show, which is today presented by Margay Racing. If you're looking for a great racing program and a check out Margay Racing's Spec Ignite class and their Arrive and Drive packages. Nothing matches the affordability and competitive level of the Ignite program. It's where the best driver wins over the best equipment. Bring your safety gear and Margay will do the rest. Stay tuned for the announcement of the 2027 Ignite major events. The Midwest-based Ignite Challenge Series hit 5 different tracks in 2026 and will return next year. So be sure to find a club or track running Ignite class in your part of the country this and next season. For more information, please visit ignitekarting.com today. Get off the couch and in to a race seat. David Cole, you are now at your little run at home after a 3-weekend stretch there through the end of July, start of August. Our last show back before the start of that run, July 14th, episode 100. It's been a run for sure over the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, we weren't able to get one of these shows done in the last couple of weeks, so we're getting it now.
Not surprising, by the way.
It's just been one of catching up and some other issues on the side as well. So now that we're back in regular speed mode, we're going to start hitting some more podcasts and shows. And this was next on the list after we did our On Track with CKNA last week. That's playing this week on the radio and be podcast later today. We'll have the video up on YouTube as well and lots more. So yeah, just getting back in the swing of things.
Well, listen, there's only so much we can actually do. I was at one race. You went to 3 straight races, which means an outlap and a debrief, right? We're doing our preview and our post. In between weekends, we're doing both at those times. There just simply wasn't an opportunity for us to bang out one of these shows, but we do have it now, obviously, as we're rocking and rolling here now. David, let's dive into what's going on here. I mentioned from the get-go that we'll be talking about the SCUSA Super Nationals, 29th edition of the event. It's going to be a talking point from now all the way through to the middle of November. A lot of chatter about Master Shifter. Initially, it was dropped. It's back. Let's talk about how that kind of came to happen.
Well, yeah, when Senior Max and Mini Max were added to the Super Nationals, there wasn't a confirmation on the classes. That came a week or two later when SuperCarts USA announced just 10 categories that were going to compete. I think I have that correct. Yeah, 10. And so missing from that list was Master Shifter. That was prior to the Summer Nationals, and the uproar hit social media. Mostly the uproar was within the paddock, and I think that's where the majority of the listening by SuperCarts USA came from. Was listening to the partners, the paddock and the race teams that voice their professional concerns about that category being gone from the event after no early notification, just bang, here, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
And so 2 weeks after that announcement that Master Shifter was not going to be part of it, they brought it back on with a contingent of reaching 40 entries. And then on Monday here, this past Monday, they announced that they're just below 30, but they are going to continue with the category. And so we will have 11 categories at the Super Nationals.
Yeah, we're still 3 months out,
right,
from the event. So
if you average, 2 entries per month, that's 6. That gets you closer to that 40 mark.
But numbers breed numbers, right? People, I think, were holding back. Hey, I'm not going to throw my name in here if it's not going to happen. But let's just talk a couple of layers here first, just because there was a big outcry, right? Oh, you're pulling Master Shifter, you're bringing the Senior Max category in. It's obviously very apparent that there is the SuperCarts USA and TPK Promotions, their connection with Karting Solutions Group and the Race Rotax program here in the U.S. But the bottom line is that there's two groups or two sides of this, right? Master Shifter drivers have been backing away. They have not been supporting Superkarts USA Racing. They haven't, yes, at the Supernats. And again, that's the other side of it, because shifter racing is in the DNA of Superkarts USA. The Master Shifter classes were very quickly brought in to the Super Nationals when it launched back in 1997. I want to say 1999 or 2000 might have been the first year for the G1 class.
Which is it, Rob?
While
I pull up my spreadsheet.
You pull up your spreadsheet. Man. You know what? I want to say 2000. And I want to say it might have been like Eduardo Martins or Kirk Jeffrey who won the first one.
Dang. Yeah. So 2000, it was Kirk Jeffrey with the first
the
on,
on
the NBA, and then Eduardo Martins with a Fittipaldi chassis in 2001.
There you go. Wow. See, that was more photographic. That was me actually looking at the actual page of Shifter Card Illustrator.
Yeah. I figured you were doing your photographic memory there.
I was. So, but here's the thing, right? So the racers, Master Shifter racers weren't supporting Superkarts USA events. They weren't coming to the Winter Series. I know. I mean, that's why it ended up not happening, right? It was the numbers were going down, and then the Pro Tour numbers were going down. And finally, they just said we're not doing it anymore. And so when you're looking at an overall program, you're like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We can probably get 30 to 40 in this category. Which one are we going to dump? We're going to dump the class that doesn't support us anywhere else but the Supernats, right? But again, the other side of it is Superkarts USA Racing is shifter kart racing. I personally, because I've been around from the very beginning of the Supernats, and I was there when Don Janowski and Jim Murley and everybody were talking about this. Joe Janowski was there in the meeting when they put together the Pro Moto Tour. I was there. I would rather see them go the other direction. There's KZ Pro Racing, there's Master Shifter. Hey, you know what? Don't get rid of a shifter category, the Supernats. Add the FC85, add the FC65. I would rather see us, lean more in to the DNA of Superkarts USA as opposed to kind of whitewashing it out, getting rid of it. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's one side of the table. The other side is it's becoming more of a youth program. So and like you said, the partnership with Rotax, it brings it on, and so that obviously 2026 is, and we said it from the beginning, was going to be a strange year, and it certainly has been, and this is one of it. The whole situation, and we'll talk about it in the next segment about another event too, is just the stuff happening overseas and in the Middle East is affecting literally everything in the world, including karting. Yeah,
you're not wrong.
And so
it's the ripple effect, right, Dave?
Right. It's not exactly this big, massive wave that's hitting us, but it's affecting us. Yeah. And so that's where the Rotax program came in. Very similar to what we saw in 2013 when Rotax was part of the event back then was, hey, we had the grand finals here. Let's continue that momentum over in Vegas. And there was a good partnership. And that ended after just that event.
It was 1 year.
That was gone. But that was more behind the scenes stuff than anything.
Agreed.
But moving forward, now what's going to happen for, say, Super Nationals 30? Is there going to be Rotax coming back? How is that all going to work out? In my thought is they just need to continue to make the RMC Trophy final that big one, and that's where they need to keep bringing all the racers to that one for the Rotax side of things, and like you said, continue with the Superkarts USA DNA that it is, and we'll see what happens from there. But again, we're in an evolving year with our sport, as we've seen, and this is one of them. But looking ahead to November, we're going to have 11 categories. Master Shifter is going to be part of it. I think what that does, now that they've locked it in, and again, we don't know the numbers. We haven't seen the names. I got to think more international guys after the World Cup happens, at the end of September. We'll get more of the international guys coming on board to kind of fill up the remainder of that class, if they haven't already. So,
and I do think that there's going to be guys that come out of the woodwork that maybe I wasn't going to run. Oh, all right, I'm going to come and run. I think.
Yeah, we've already saw that on social media, so that's going to happen. And so now that it's tough. Again, if they would have just started out with, "Hey, we need entries," rather than say we're not going to run it, I think that would have been the more positive direction to go with it. Rather than say we're not running it and then bring it back after everybody complained. So again, either way, doesn't matter. It's come back,
That's
and
right.
and I think it'll be 40 or more drivers once again, as it was last year, and so we'll see. It's from what we were told, it's going to be an afternoon event or in the afternoon group, so it's probably going to run at the same time as Pro Shifter. So I doubt that's going to encourage guys doing both, like say Billy Musgrave or Jordan Musser or others. They could still do it with two different carts, I assume, but we'll see what happens with that. We'll see how everything kind of rules from that.
Do we, Dave? Do we save our comments on the fact that pro guys shouldn't be in Master Shifter?
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing. You pick one or the other. Like if you want to do master, do master. If you want to do pro, do pro. Don't do both.
I don't think you should be allowed to do both.
You know, it's no different than the S1, S2 situation that we had. We didn't allow S1 guys to run S2, and so I think again, you know, there is good side of it of going back to your roots, and that was part of the roots was the licensing program and establishing the levels of different drivers within the sport. No different, and we talked about it, Rob, is the pro guys should not be running KA senior.
We've said that too. Yep.
And you know, and one thing they're doing with the road tax classes, they're not allowing the micro Swift drivers to run mini max. So if you're in micro Swift, you're not allowed to run mini max.
I like it.
Which again, because the age stuff, again, the age stuff, drivers can run micro and mini max if because of the age, but they're eliminating that and they're not allowing that. So they kind of again just throw down the gauntlet. Let's pick or choose which one you want to run it, and that's how it's going to be. And because again, the Super Nationals, even though we promoted a lot with, you know, the double junior winners that we've had, you know, we had Joe Turney winning both a couple of years ago as well too. It's fun in that, right? But I think long-term goals, I think it's better to keep them separated.
Let's I'm back on Sunday night from Milwaukee for the USF weekend with the USF Pro. We got next week. I'm in the office all next week. Let's knock out this Master Shifter roundtable. We've talked about it for like a month.
It's on the schedule. We got to wait for that.
All right, so let's wrap up this segment. Otherwise, we could talk all day on this one. Total event purse, David, exceeding $50,000 as well. $15,000 up for grabs in Pro Shifter.
Yeah, and then $10,000 for Pro X30, $10,000 in Pro Shifter to win. I believe it's $5,000 to win in Pro X30. I didn't write that down, but yeah, again, a massive purse for the event once again on Super Sunday. And Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino is the host hotel once again. So everybody will be on the north end of the strip if they choose to stay right there on the strip. And again, to wrap up kind of the road tax side of it as well, international motors will be allowed in both Senior Max and Mini Max. So they are opening up that rule structure. Typically with the road tax categories, I think here in the U.S. they do allow the Canadian engines, so it's both U.S. and Canadian engines. But I believe up in Canada, it's Canada only. For Super Nationals, however, it'll be all international motors allowed. So you could get some engines. So it could be a suitcase engine situation, Rob, where somebody brings one from Asia or Europe or wherever, and they come away with a Super Nationals victory.
Can I make one prediction?
Yeah.
We'll be eating dinner at about 10 o'clock every night.
Oh yeah, it'll be In and Out or a quick pizza from the food court downstairs in the hotel. I know you don't like it, but
no,
I have work to do. So yeah, that's quick, easy.
In and Out sounds really good.
No, yeah, we'll have to. It's
gonna be late. I'm saying it's gonna be late night, late days.
Yeah, Setabello will probably be like a Thursday or Wednesday, depending on which day we do our dinner.
True that.
Our good dinner.
All right, we're done with Supercarts USA Super Nationals 29 with Master Shifter.
Start researching that, by the way.
Good call. Let's go to Rock Cup USA, David. Obviously, a couple weeks before the Rock Vegas events at the Rio All Suite Hotel and Casino, Rock Cup USA announces the Rock Vegas classes, and they've opened registration.
Yeah, the October 28th through November 1st event, again, returning to the Rio Hotel and Casino Las Vegas, where again we've had this the Rock Vegas event for multiple years now. Again, going with 11 categories once again. This time, the Rock SV Junior category is going to be new for 2026, so that replaces the Rock GP Junior category that ran. And the SV category, both junior and senior, will be engine raffles, like we saw with the senior category last year, which I thought was a new unique aspect. We had 50 drivers in senior. They're going to go 50 drivers in both junior and senior, so we could have just 100 engines bouncing around all weekend long on the raffle program. So that'll be a cool part. Pro KZ, that's new. It's going to be opening to both KZ or Rock shifter engine platforms for the senior shifter category. So you could see some KZ engines there that weekend rather than the Rock shifter. So that's opened up as well too. So those are kind of the two different changes from last year that we saw. And again, once again, a big prize package exceeding the $100,000 mark with all information available at rockcupusa.com.
There you have it, folks. Underway with episode number 101 of This Week in Karting. It is August 25th. Rob Howden here alongside David Cole. Let's go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk FIA World Championships, the Cascadia Karting Cup, and the T4 Kartplex and their new T4 Night Shootout. Ready to step up your game? Joining the Rawlison Performance Group is the obvious choice to take your racing to the next level. Industry-leading driver development is provided by our staff of multi-time national champions, Super Nationals winners, and Team USA members. And at the same time, RPG continues to be a national-level powerhouse race team. Our goal is to help you raise your game and win races. We work with all age groups and are focused on developing those cadet and junior drivers who are ready to take the next step in their racing program. Rawlison Performance Group has set a new standard with our in-house engine program, AVP Engines, headed by Alex Vincent. AVP has become the benchmark in IAME competition. We have the largest OTK inventory that follows our race team, providing trackside parts at all the major events in North America. RPG also offers multilingual support with French, Spanish, and Portuguese-speaking staff. If you want to fight for championships or want to improve your skills and your chances to win, the answer is to call RPG at 503-260-4514. The Rawlison Performance Group. We race to win. Made in the USA. That's exactly what you get from Precision Karting Technologies. Based in Detroit, Michigan, PKT brings over 35 years of manufacturing experience to the sport of karting. Their passion for the sport began focusing around the Kid Kart platform and has expanded every year with hundreds of products designed to put you on the podium. Precision Karting Technologies is known around North America for their successful line of axles, available in all age groups. PKT manufactures a number of engine products for Comer, IAME, Rock, Rotax, and the popular Briggs & Stratton 206. A wide variety of chassis components for the many brands in the sport are available through PKT, including hubs, pedal risers, skid plates, and other hardware for your kart. Axle straightening, chassis adjustments, engine service, and specific CNC machining projects are available through their Motor City headquarters. To learn more about the many products and services available from Precision Karting Technologies, head to pktaxles.com. From the people who bring you the Challenge of the Americas comes a new event to celebrate the start of the fall season in the Pacific Northwest. FTK Promotions is proud to host the inaugural Cascadia Karting Cup presented by Shinko Kart Racing Tires, set for the October 2nd to 4th weekend at the historic Pat's Acres Racing Complex. Karters can expect a fun-filled, competitive weekend at the Canby, Oregon facility that already has support from racers, teams, and kart shops in the Pacific Northwest region. 10 classes are confirmed for the inaugural Cascadia Karting Cup, featuring a 2-cycle and 4-cycle division for each age group, including cadet, junior, senior, and masters. The Briggs & Stratton 206 engine platform will run with all 4 age groups. Miami, Vortex, and X Series engines are eligible in the single-speed air-cooled categories for all 4 age levels, and the event will also include the Shifter Light and Shifter Heavy divisions open to KZ and Rock Shifter drivers to round out the categories, all competing on the Shinko Racing kart tire compounds. To learn more, visit the Cascadia Karting Cup page on challengekarting.com and mark your calendar to join in on the fun and excitement at Pat's Acres Racing Complex this October. Welcome back to episode 101 of the This Week in Karting podcast here on the EKN Radio Network. David, let's talk about the FIA Karting World Championships. The event has been relocated. This is, again, one of those ripples we've talked about with everything going on in the Gulf. There's a number of events that have been moved, relocated, rescheduled, and there's been a lot of, like I said, the ripples are probably the best term for it, but a lot of collateral damage, if you think, in the sport, based on the fact that, we just can't be running in Bahrain right now.
Yeah, one of them being the Rotax Grand Finals. While it was scheduled to go to Portugal, they had to move their date because of pending events that were going to be at the big track. I believe it was a MotoGP that got moved to a certain weekend in November, moving or whenever the old date was for the Grand Finals. So that got moved. And the FIA Karting World Championships were set to be in Bahrain. And now has been moved to the La Conca circuit in Italy, keeping the same weekend, November 5th through the 8th, 2026. So it's going to be quite a busy 3 weeks for a lot of factories with, you got the Rock Vegas event. So OTK is going to be busy with that in Vegas. The week after will be the World Championships, where all the factories will be at competing. And then the week after, you have both the Rotax Grand Finals and the Super Nationals happening at 2 different ends of the country or at the world. So yeah, quite a busy 3 weeks there for the sport of karting. Again, yeah, it's a sad situation, but I wasn't sure where it was going to be. There was a lot of rumors that it was going to go to Spain. That was what I was hearing this summer. But I think a lot of the manufacturers are like, let's stay close to home. And it kind of makes sense. La Conca is a great circuit, very challenging one, and should be interesting world finals that we'll be able to watch from home.
Indeed. Let's come back home and go to the Pacific Northwest for the new event, the Cascadia Karting Cup up at Pat's Acres Racing Complex in Canby, Oregon on the October 2nd to 4th weekend. Andy Saisman and the FTK Promotions crew are putting on this new event, the Cascadia Karting Cup, a one-off event. David, registration now open. Let's provide a little more information on that race.
Again, 10 categories competing on the weekend. Friday is a practice day. Saturday includes qualifying and 3 heat races. Super heat and main events on Sunday to crown the inaugural winners. Again, ranging from both Briggs to 2-cycle, cadet, junior, senior, and master levels, along with the 2 shifter categories that they will be having on the weekend, all competing on the Shinko Racing karting tires that Andy Saisman and FTK Promotions do import. And you can find everything at challengekarting.com. Again, where Challenge of the Americas website, where the same staff that you would typically see at Challenge of the Americas are going to be at the Cascadia Karting Cup.
Yeah, and indeed, October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th up at Pat's Acres Racing Complex. We'll go from one side, one corner up the Pacific Northwest, all the way down in essentially South Florida. It's a T4 Kartplex down, I believe, Bradenton or Palmetto, Florida, the Gulf Coast of Florida for the new event they're having, David, 2026 T4 Night Shootout, December the 12th. It's a great little venue. I've had a chance to drive it myself, light it up. It'll be fantastic. But yeah, the T4 guys going to do a night race with some big money up for grabs.
Not the first time. They did do this last year in December. So kind of feeding off the success that they had last year with the event, continuing on this year, December's 12th. So basically a one-day shootout kind of scenario with you have the Bambino class, which is essentially the micro or kid kart division. the mini, T4 mini category, T4 junior, T4 senior, and T4 masters. Those are all the different divisions that compete on the Tillotson spec program, 4-cycle packages that are available through them. That will be having the T4 Nations Cup 2026, and that'll be the first weekend in October in Valencia, Spain. So that event continues to grow and grow, and I think all the categories are selling out. This year will make it, again, one of the largest events. But here in the U.S., T4 Series USA, based out of T4 Kartplex down there in Florida, again, hosting this one-off event with a bunch of prizes going to be up for grabs, including cash prizes to the winner in mini, junior, senior, and masters. And the Bambino winner will actually get a brand new T4 mini kart package for winning the event. So more information available at T4SeriesUSA.com.
All right, folks, good stuff. When we come back, we'll have another quick break here. We'll talk Rock Island Grand Prix, GFC karting, and a brand new program that's designed to bring some fun and camaraderie back into kart racing. Klotz Lubricants has a long history in the sport of karting, with over 60 years of developing products for the motorsports industry. A new product introduced by Klotz combines its technology with the knowledge and experience of one of the sport's legends, Lynn Haddock. The new Haddock Special Formula 2-stroke engine oil is blended at the Klotz facility in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The blend uses a formula that Lynn developed and refined throughout years of racetrack testing. The 2-stroke engine oil is designed specifically for karting engines, using a proprietary blend of synthetic and castor-based oils. The synthetic-based oils provide wear protection at low temperatures, and the castor-based oils provide wear protection at high temperatures and high RPMs. The fluid is anodized to mitigate corrosion and deposit formation and can be mixed with either gasoline or methanol. The new Haddock Special Formula from Klotz is available now through the KlotzLube.com website and will be coming to many kart shops across the country in the near future. Klotz and the Haddock Special Formula, bringing together decades of experience to the karting industry. CRG is one of the most iconic brands in the world of karting, with a never-ending focus on winning. Kart CRG USA is the North American distributor for all CRG products. Based outside of Houston, Texas, Kart CRG USA supports CRG dealers across the continent, reaching every corner of North America. The CRG KT5 has been designed specifically for the US market. The KT5 is the perfect fit for X30, KA100, and other tag platforms, featuring the new Aero package and VEN 11B braking system. For cadet drivers, the CRG Black Beer continues to log in victories and championships across the globe, and is utilized in both 2-cycle and 4-cycle competition here in North America. Longtime CRG drivers will be happy to know the CRG Road Rebel, the standard in quality and performance, continues its excellence for those in the shifter kart ranks. The CRG FS4 chassis is the ideal choice for racers in Briggs & Stratton competition, with numerous podium results across classes at the CKNA divisional and national events. From pure racing to karting entertainment, many tracks, both indoor and outdoor, have made the switch to the CRG Centurion rental kart line. 5 different models for both gas-powered or electric engines can fit any track's needs for a new rental kart fleet. Kart CRG USA has a full inventory of rental karts available for new and existing facilities. For more information on the CRG product line, head to kartcrgusa.com, or to inquire about a North American dealer near you, please email us at sales@kartcrg.com. Grassroots racing in North America is all about being affordable, fair, competitive, and family-friendly. That's the atmosphere you can expect with Cup Karts North America. The organization was founded on those principles in 2014, based in the Midwest. The program grew in popularity and eventually established the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals. The 10th edition of this massive event is scheduled for October 8th to the 11th at the Newcastle Motorsports Park. Cup Karts North America has expanded to 4 divisions, including the flagship North Division. CKNA South is based in the Southeast, while CKNA East is geared at the Northeast region of the United States. CKNA Canada brings together racers from Ontario, Quebec, and other provinces all across the Great White North. 4 other major events are hosted each year, including the CKNA Winter Nationals and CKNA Spring Nationals. The inaugural CKNA Canadian 4-Cycle Nationals were held in Quebec this year in May with massive participation. Lastly, the CKNA Summer Nationals returns July 31st to August 2nd at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati in Ohio. Visit cupcarts.com for more about all the divisions, major events, and the CKNA Grand National 10. Be part of something special. Be part of the Cup Carts North America family. Welcome back to this edition of This Week in Karting, episode 101 here on the EKN Radio Network. My name is Rob Howden, joined by David Cole. And David, there was some news we had since the last episode of This Week in Karting, and that was the sad news of the cancellation for this year of the Rock Island Grand Prix. The events logged 30 editions from 1994 all the way through to 2025. You and I have been to a lot of those races, commentary, coverage, behind the wheel. We've raced there ourselves as well. But tough to see that one kind of get canceled for this year. They are planning for 2027 on Labor Day weekend again, David. But man, it's just tough these days when you don't have momentum and you just don't have a lot of drivers coming to the event.
Yeah, it's something that we saw on the horizon. We weren't quite sure, exactly what was going to happen with the event, with the declining numbers that we saw over the last couple of years. Obviously, in 2024, they had to move the racetrack over to a different location alongside because of construction going on in the downtown region of Rock Island, Illinois. Moved back last year to the original track layout. And driving it, I would say about 2/3 of it was better, was smoother, was nice to have. But that 1/3 is really bad, really rough, really beat you up. But an unfortunate side of things, kind of the trend in our sport to where, again, I kind of just talked about it in our opening segment, very kid-focused sport that our karting has become, at least at the major level that we're at. And again, just not a lot of people that are willing to dare take on the streets of Rock Island or any street race for that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
there was the challenge and excitement of street racing was so big for me when I was younger. My very first year racing karts in 1995, I think I did 3 or 4 races at my local club, and then there was a street race, the Barrie Grand Prix, and I raced in it. It was like, yeah, there's a street race, I'm doing it. I raced Rock Island, I raced Quincy. I did the races over in Bermuda, the Dockyard Grand Prix. Give me a chance to run a street race, I'm all in. That's not the prevailing thought for a lot of people right now. Maybe that's part of the juniorification of karting, where it's getting younger and younger and younger. There isn't that, hey, I want to go out and try the streets. It's tough. It's just the way it is. And, because that's Rock Island and it's a street circuit, and the numbers have been dwindling, and we know numbers breed numbers, and it's the opposite as well. When you start losing numbers, you're not drawing more people in. So again, tough to see that happen. They are planning, and David, we said, to come back in 2027. Remains to be seen if they can, build the momentum and build whatever it needs to build to draw people back.
Yeah, the only other thing is changing locations. That's something that would probably maybe bring some new blood into it, because again, you're racing the same racetrack that they've been utilizing for many, many years, and so again, people like new shiny things. That could be part of it. Racing under the lights, that could be a major hurdle. I mentioned that, and walking the racetrack at night, the street lights alone light up the area enough to where you only need probably a couple more portable lights to light it up. I think that would be amazing. So again, there's got to be different ways of changing it up to help bring it back, and we'll see what they have in store after taking 2026 off. Exactly
that. Let's dive into the industry now. And GFC Karting, Gary Carlton's program, welcoming in a new dealer. And it's a legendary name in the sport for sure. Franklin Motorsports, David, signing on as a new dealer for GFC Karting.
Yeah, they become an authorized dealer with complete GFC chassis sales, parts, and accessories, providing technical support and chassis setup assistance for drivers within the Wisconsin or the general area. Driver coaching and race preparation, obviously a part of Franklin Motorsports for many, many years, including their trackside support and customer service. So great combination bringing the GFC brand to Franklin Motorsports, which has been a leader in the karting industry for decades.
Yeah, a new program. Let's move on to this now. The Fake Alliance Racing Team, FART. Do we just call it FART?
I just wanted to hear you say it. It's great.
FART. The Fake Alliance Racing Team, a program between Brandon Jarsekrak Racing and MPG Motorsports, have come together. Fake Alliance Racing Team, FART. It's a scholarship program that they've established to support a club racer, whether it's a junior or senior, to compete in the Stars Night Fight at Trackhouse. Just a cool deal for two teams coming together in the paddock where sometimes there's animosity, sometimes there's a high level of competition. We don't like that team. I don't like that team. They kind of came together and said, hey, listen, let's work together and try to get someone racing, a club racer, running the Stars Night Fight at Trackhouse. I love it. Very cool program.
Yeah, it began as kind of a fun little T-shirt and hat program to begin with MPG and BJR to kind of wear. Now it's becoming a fad, a thing, and people are buying up shirts and hats and other accessories that you can buy with the logo that they created for this. It's great to see like a driver like Joe Turney wearing it and some other drivers in the paddock. So we sat down and talked with them. We're like, this could be a great way to, again, focus on this fun and togetherness that, again, the sport really is about. And so that's what they're doing with the scholarship program. They're using all the funds and they're working with a lot of sponsors to help support one club racer, either a junior driver or a senior driver, compete at the Stars Night Fight that'll take place at Trackhouse in September. The apparel or swag or accessories can be purchased from Apex Apparel, which with part of the proceeds going to the scholarship program. They're working with BBS Racing Engines. They're also working with DB Motorsports on graphics and some other sponsors as well to help support. Again, bring a club racer who has never raced at a regional or national event, bring them to an event and help kind of guide them in their first weekend there. And again, that's, kind of we'll hit on it later in our editorial section next segment. But, again, it's helping people out in the sport. And that's something that we're not seeing a lot of. And it's always great to see, though, other teams helping other teams out. That's the one thing. Yeah, you might have some issues on racetrack like we saw at Newcastle between these two teams, but at USPKS. But, again, you push through that and you look at the big picture side of things. That's something, Chase Jones and Billy Vincent, Brandon Jarsekrak, Paulie Massimino, they're all about. It's about bringing people together and still having fun.
Yeah, and you love the sport too, right? There's a love for the sport and the people in it, and I just love the movement. It's a fantastic thing, and ideally it'll fuel more of it, not just part of the FART program, but expand to more people, a more thought process, a more kind of a trend throughout the sport. Folks, when we get back, one more break. David mentioned that we were going to run through the ECAN editorial lineup. A lot of stuff that David has been kicking out here over the last 6 weeks. When we get back, we'll kind of dive over that, give you an opportunity to see what you may have missed with all the content and all the editorial that we had on eKarting News over the last 6 weeks. From Florida to California to Las Vegas, it's time to rock. The 2026 season for the Rockers begins in the Sunshine State as Rock Cup USA hosts the 28th edition of the Florida Winter Tour. The championship is underway, having welcomed competitors to the Orlando Kart Center over the January 16th to 18th weekends for round 1 of the title chase. Rockers return to the Orlando, Florida facility for round 2 of the championship on the February 6th to 8th weekend. After that, for the first time in series history, the Florida Winter Tour will travel to the T4 Kartplex facility in Palmetto, Florida on the March 6th to 8th weekend for the season finale. Looking ahead, mark down the year-end celebration with the annual Rock Vegas event, set for October 28th to November 1st at the Rio All-Suite Hotel and Casino. Rock Sonoma returns in 2026 with its 2 championship format. Take part in the Triple Crown 1 program from March to May, with the second Triple Crown Championship competing from June to September. There'll be different track layouts, Rock Vegas tickets, and much more available at Rock Sonoma. Visit rockcupusa.com for all the details and information surrounding the Florida Winter Tour, Rock Vegas, Rock Sonoma, and much more. Motor mounts. They keep your engine attached to your chassis, right? The answer is, they're much more important than that. Your motor mount is critical in transferring 100% of the power from your engine through to your tires and the racetrack. You need this to get on the podium each and every time you race. Odenthal Racing Products is here for you, providing the best motor mounts on the karting market today, all designed to make sure you're using all the horsepower you pay for. Odenthal Racing Products is a family-owned and operated business with decades of karting experience in providing products with unmatched quality and value for our racing community. The Pro Series mount for 2-cycle engines, which is available in 0, 5, and 8-degree inclinations, provides a rigid structure to help keep vibration to a minimum without adding too much weight to your setup. The 4-cycle Easy Set system is one of the most popular mounts for the Briggs & Stratton 206 power plant. Multiple mounting holes provide the most adjustability depending on your chassis and seat placement. To ensure a tight fit to your chassis, our ORP wedge clamps get the job done, and they feature a number of design updates to provide a lower profile and lighter weight. The clamps are available from 28mm to 32mm in both standard and Euro style sizes. And now, Odenthal has also revolutionized the karting industry with its new Easy GP camera mounting system. Designed to mount anywhere on your chassis with 1 or 2 cameras, the ORP Easy GP camera mount is your solution to capture that onboard winning moment. Head to odenthalracing.com and find a dealer near you. Odenthal Racing Products, proudly made in the USA. In racing, experience is priceless. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry, and with over 30 years of combined karting experience, we can provide you with everything you need to go racing. With a large online product selection, select track support events, and a wide variety of shop services, Franklin Motorsports is your complete karting source. Check out our online store at franklinkart.com, where all of our products are just a mouse click away. We continue to add to our growing product selection on the online store, and we ship daily to ensure products get to you quickly. We specialize in IAME engines, tilt seats, the Ceramic product line, Driveline branded products, Briggs & Stratton engines, Smoker performance sprockets, OTK products, AIM, MG tires, and of course, the championship-winning Merlin chassis. In our online store, you'll find a variety of items to fill your karting needs. Franklin Motorsports is also known for our wide variety of services and is home to Innovative Engine Works by FMS, our in-house engine service department. Frame straightening, kart prep, and dyno testing are all services offered regularly at Franklin Motorsports. Be sure to stop by the Franklin trailer during the United States Pro Kart Series events as the official trackside vendor. For all things karting, visit franklinkart.com. Welcome back to This Week in Karting here on the EKN Radio Network. My name is Rob Howden, joined by David Cole. David, you are the quarterback at EKN when it comes to editorial. There's a long list of stuff that got cranked out over the last 6 weeks. Let's get started. Just talk about what you've been working on for the last month and a half.
Yeah, it's been a long one. Let's go with some editorial that I did not produce at guest writer Andrew Mercer. That put together, kind of overlooking Ryan Norberg and his new path and direction in the sport. How does a 10-time national champion reinvent himself was the title of the article. So a great look at kind of Ryan, his new path that he's going with the Norberg Karting Academy, working with GFC Karting, and both, as a driver himself too, moving on. from where he was as just a driver. A cool little article to kind of catch up and read.
Really solid article for sure. And just that pivot that a driver makes, there's so many people that have been in the sport for the longest time. Though maybe a lot didn't get to the level where Ryan did, to the point where you become essentially a paid driver for these major teams. It's not something we've seen a lot of over the last number of years. And to be able to then pivot to turn yourself into a player within the industry, not only because of your driving ability, but coaching, the team, everything. It's a really cool article. Andrew Mercer did a great job with that. We hope to have him to submit some more stuff for us over the next couple of years. He's a tremendous writer. David, through the 6 weeks, not surprising, we're going to do one, we'll do two. Driver of the Month for June came out as well. Driver of the Month for July as well just came out. But Driver of the Month for June, a fantastic month for Aiden Ingrata, one of the true talents in karting these days.
Well, a great RMC America's Trophy program where he swept all 4 main events in that championship to win the Senior Max title, earning a ticket to the Rotax Grand Finals where he will represent Team Canada for, I believe, only his second time in his career. So, or third, it might be third. Last year, he was a top qualifier in Senior Max, so he's looking for redemption where he was off the podium in the main event. So that's a good story. And then July Driver of the Month was Evan Leach, a driver from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Ugh, Green Bay.
Like, where are you going with that?
I have to say that, because his dad gave me some crap the other day.
Well, listen, it's not the Gary Bears, that's for sure.
It is not the Gary Bears. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate that even more.
The Indiana Bears.
But the cadet driver actually went back-to-back double win weekends at the Route 66 program. So, yes, we're highlighting the July double win weekend that he had in both Mini Swift and 206 Sportsman at Badger Kart Club or Millwright Raceway, home of the Badger Kart Club. And he backed it up just recently at the Route 66 series finale at Briggs & Stratton Motorplex at Road America, winning again Mini Swift and 206 Sportsman. So a big stretch, 2-month stretch for Evan Leach as he's making the progression up the karting ranks.
Yeah, shout out to Evan. Very impressive for sure. David, some driver diaries before we get into what is a long run of race reports and trackside events. Let's talk about Derek Wargo running over in Germany.
Yeah, Derek Wargo, his second event of the FIA Karting Academy senior program took him to Germany. So you can catch up on that progress. And then the second event for also Marco Samet, the FIA Karting Academy junior driver representing USA. He traveled to Sarno and got to compete there in that program. So you can catch up on those driver diaries. We'll have both their third and final events coming up. Derek already had his third race, while Marco will be making a trip back to Europe in September for his third event.
Lots of race reports and trackside coverage events, as I had mentioned before. You talked about Route 66 Sprint Series capping off not capping off, but having their event at Badger. You got to go all the way to the Road America event that you mentioned as well. So 2 race reports from the Route 66 Sprint Series available on the website. Obviously, a lot of reporting with our partnership with Cup Karts North America, the CKNA Canada event in Lombardy. David, you have filed a race report there. CKNA Summer Nationals at MCC was a big one as well, man. All the nationals for CKNA, just major events these days.
Yeah, big ones, and obviously working up towards the Grand Nationals 10 that'll be happening here in October. So yeah, we had those. Obviously, our trackside reports from the Supercars USA Pro Tour Summer Nationals. The week after that was the RMC Trophy Final, and then the week after that was the USBKS Ohio Grand Prix from MCC. So make sure you check those out, and also make sure. Yeah. Also, make sure you check out The Missing Middle, a column from Keith Warren, How Karting Grows Again, kind of his take, both as a kind of now an industry member with Race Select, but also as a karting dad. He's seeing all different sides of the sport, similar to what we do, both behind the wheel and out of the wheel kind of scenario. So great to kind of get that feedback, and a lot of positive feedback it was from his column.
Yeah. Let me reiterate that. and put an emphasis on it. If you didn't read that, go read it. It's a really, really good look at where the sport is right now, where there's kind of a gap, where there's where we're missing something that we had over the last many years, maybe from the very start of karting, to be honest, where there was a point where a lot of people raced, and that was kind of their window of how they did it. It's so different nowadays with these major teams, and we're not seeing guys rolling in with the 10-foot, 12-foot trailers or the cart in the back of the pickup truck. The missing middle, that is definitely something to read. Go check that out. I want to reiterate that, because I think if you're in the sport, have been in it for a while, or plan to be in it for a little while, read that, because it's going to change your mindset a little bit about maybe how you can help some that are at the racetrack, especially at the club and regional level.
Well, again, kind of like what the FART is doing, the Fake Alliance Racing Team, bringing fun and camaraderie. Yeah. That's, essentially in a way, kind of what Keith was talking about, where everybody's kind of working together. It's like, hey, you need this, or I'll help you do that, kind of scenario. And yeah, that's what we don't see a lot of it happening at the national level. Like you said, it's very me against the world kind of inclusion or seclusion, I guess, because you keeping yourself away from everybody else because you're focusing on just yourself rather than just enjoying your time.
Yeah. David, I'm sure you had it, but I look at the year I started in 1995, Waterloo Regional Kart Club. I bought a kart the year before, prepped it all off season, showed up at the track, and I didn't know anything. I literally knew nothing. I didn't know what I was doing at all. And a guy named Adam Ross, his dad, Bob, helped me out. Adam's now the voice of NASCAR Canada. I've known Adam for now going on 30 years, over 40. 30 years.
40.
It's not 40, 30 years, 30. But again, they took me under their wing. I had no idea what I was doing. I parked beside them every race. We had different engine builders. We were on different chassis. It didn't matter. He was on a Margay. I was on an MXK. But they helped me out. They guided me. And Adam and I have been friends for a long time. And to be honest, the great thing is it's the payback is this year. His son's put together a crate sprint car to run at us weekend. And we were talking last year, and he struggles to find money to get tires. And so I'm sponsoring some tires this year. So it's one of those things where, again, Keith's article really hit home with me, because I don't know that I would be where I am in the sport right now if it wasn't for the fact that Adam and his dad took me under their wing and really made me enjoy my Saturday mornings at the club.
Well, I mean, I have it every day in my life. You've seen my father, how he is. He literally goes to the racetrack with an empty cart and be like, hey, who needs what?
Who needs help? That's right.
Or do you want to jump in and drive? Go ahead.
That's
kind of scenario. So again, and that's something that I think a lot of people miss when they jump right to the national level. Again, they see, again, not to continue on. We can go on for this podcast. I don't care, because we got all day. Because again, that's what a lot of people miss, because that's something we haven't really been able to do with e-karting news, is go back to the club. We're trying to do that with our garage at Newcastle, but we haven't been able to. But we do know, like just having a garage, how the camaraderie is there alone. Guys helping each other out, sharing garages and doing this and doing that. There is a lot of it in our sport. It's just very hard to spotlight it, because it's at the club level, and it's across the country. You see it across all over the country. It's happening. You just don't see it as much. And
the people that come into the sport and go straight to national level racing because they think they need to do that because they're going to go to Formula One, they're missing one of the absolute beautiful parts of karting. And that's club and regional level racing, as you were already talking about, where everybody around helps each other out. If you're on the grid and the engine won't start, everybody jumps on to make sure you're starting. They want to get you onto the racetrack. Oh, I bet an axle. I got you. We're going to dive in and get that kart fixed. Like that's club racing, and it's the pure beauty of karting, as opposed to the really kind of cutthroat, national level racing. And it should be that, because it's national level. You're prepping to try to become a professional race car driver potentially. But it's the club level stuff that these people miss, where really the friendships are made, and it's a lot more fun, more relaxed. So I wish everybody would have more opportunity to experience that.
Nice doesn't bring money. So that's
true.
I hate to say that, but that's Yeah, that's bigger than our sport.
Let's wrap this up. You also filed a race report for the Pro Kart Challenge. We've been doing those all year long. They were up at Sonoma Raceway. They got a bit of a break right now until their final couple of races. Last but not least, David, you've been busting your hump this last couple of days, knocking out another edition of the EKN Driver Rankings.
Yeah, presented by Stilo USA. Shifter kart rankings have seen a change. No question about it. Mateus Morgado taking over the number 1 spot. His 3 wins at the SCUSA Pro Tour puts him in number 1. Jay Irwin jumping up back into the number 2 spot ahead of Gavin Bailiff. So that's your 1, 2, 3. In the tag side of things, it's Gus Lawrence still leading the way. Now over Oliver Hodgson, who has moved up into the 2nd spot with that big Pro Tour victory at the Summer Nationals, jumping ahead of Paulie Massimino, who sits right there in 3rd. And Rob, nothing's done yet. There is no way we can determine a driver of the year. God. Obviously, Morgado's got a big advantage going in, but anything can happen in Vegas. As we see, Morgado is yet to finish there in the last 2 years in Pro Shifter. Irwin and Bailiff, we saw Irwin get taken out. He needs a Super Nationals result. Bailiff can better his result as well, too. And then anything can happen in the tag category as well, as we've seen.
100%. All right, after another break, when we come back, it'll be our What's Hot, the latest topics in the sport of karting or motorsports. We'll talk about that when we get back. 2026 is shaping up to be another historic season for SuperKarts USA. Things kick off with the SCUSA Winter Series heading to the Lone Star State and the popular Speed Sports Racing Park. The opening event is slated for January 9th to the 11th, with the series finale set for the February 13th to 15th weekend at the New Caney, Texas facility. This year's SCUSA Pro Tour is primed to visit 3 different states from March to July. The 2026 SCUSA Pro Tour Winter Nationals will be held on March 27th to 29th at a location to be announced in the near future. The Spring Nationals is returning to the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati in Batavia, Ohio over the June 12th to 14th weekend. And lastly, to cap off the series for the 12th time, Newcastle Motorsports Park hosts the SCUSA Summer Nationals in late July. This year's SCUSA Pro Tour champions will be crowned over the July 24th to 26th weekend in Newcastle, Indiana. Regional action is set for 2026 with the flagship Pro Kart Challenge program hosting 5 race weekends at 3 spectacular facilities, including the new K1 circuit in Winchester and Spring Mountain Karting in Nevada, in a schedule highlighted by return to Sonoma Raceway. The Texas Sprint Racing Series is offering 5 rounds of racing in 2026, visiting 4 challenging circuits from March to September. Growth continues for SuperKarts USA in Mexico as well, with record numbers for the SCUSA Pro Tour Mexico and the Pro Kart Challenge Mexico Series. For information on all of this and more, visit superkartsusa.com. All over the karting world, everyone knows OTK is the gold standard for quality and performance. In the United States, OTK USA is the source for all things OTK. 8 brands under the OTK USA banner are winning races and championships across the country in national programs like the Rock Cup USA Florida Winter Tour, the Challenge of the Americas, the SCUSA Pro Tour and Winter Series, the United States Pro Kart Series, and even more programs throughout the country. And OTK products are also front and center on the podium of club and regional races from coast to coast. Tony Kart, Cosmic, Esprit, EOS, and Red Speed have been joined by the Gallard, LN Racing Kart, and CS55 brands. To learn more about a specific product line or to find the OTK USA dealer near you, visit otkusa.com. Specific chassis territories are still available, so kart shops interested in adding a winning component to their product lineups can contact OTK USA directly. OTK, the gold standard of karting. Let decades of experience and success lead you to the top of the podium. Join Brandon Jarsacrack Racing as your race team at the sport's major events in the United States. Brandon Jarsacrack is a 4-time United States Pro Kart Series champion, along with a multi-time SuperKarts USA Pro Tour and WKA Manufacturers Cup Series race winner. Jarsacrack is ranked among one of the best from his generation to get behind the wheel of a racing kart. BJR provides full race team service and support at all USPKS, SCUSA, and Stars Championship Series events, along with trackside programs at the Trackhouse Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina. Partnering with Mike Doty Racing, Brandon's team of driver coaches and mechanics are passionate for the sport, providing decades of experience both on the track and working with many of today's karting standouts and current motorsport stars. Brandon Jarsic Crack Racing offers a full range of services, including kart preparation, driver coaching, and race event support for both two-cycle and four-cycle competitors. BJR is an official LN Racing kart team with OTK USA and is an official offset sport race team. Contact them today to develop a program based around your needs. Head to BrandonJarsicCrack.com to learn more. Welcome back to This Week in Karting, episode 101. Rob Howden here alongside David Cole into our essentially hot topic segment of the podcast where David and I can freeform a little bit. So David writes the scripts. I don't really know what these are until they get here. Essentially, David's question here is, will there ever be a major karting street race in a large metropolitan area? David, are we rolling off the IndyCar and Formula One street races like the one in DC this past weekend?
Well, not only DC, but Markham, obviously to a new IndyCar, going to a new location, still in the Toronto area.
Fantastic
but
racetrack.
Going to, and there's highs and lows for both. Obviously, the track build and the way the track was built, and Markham was a little bit of the negative, but the racetrack itself was great. To where you look at DC, it was kind of like a boring racetrack, but I guess it was built correctly because Kirkwood didn't hit a wall, so he won the race.
The track looked good.
The track looked good.
It was bumpy, but yeah.
But again, it costs probably 5, 6, 10 times more than Markham probably to put on that race.
Well, yeah, didn't they say 35 million? I think was the number they said.
I didn't really kind of cue in on that, but I'm just. Yes, so writing off the fact that IndyCar and F1 continue to expand the street races more and more, as we've seen over and over, karting street races are on the downward trend. We just talked about Rock Island taking a year off, hopefully to regroup and come back. But even at the local levels, we're losing a lot of the old style street races that used to happen to kind of do what IndyCar and F1 are doing. They're bringing the races to the masses.
There it is.
That was one of the things that karting street races would do. It would bring the sport to the masses, having, these, pretty wild and crazy events happening in city streets. And, even the Elkhart street race that just happened. It's just, what it used to be was something phenomenal and amazing. And ESPN even covered it. And so, again, getting back to my question, my thought is, it's been talked about many, many times before. Why isn't karting like motocross, or why isn't karting like IndyCar and this and that and blah, blah, blah? Well, the only way you're going to be able to do that is to have one category that is the show and is the pro drivers. And could you take the pro show, say the pro shifter guys, or even go single speed if you want to do that as well too, and do pro show style events in, say, somewhere in Los Angeles, say right outside the where the Lakers play. I can't remember the name of Crypto or whatever. Crypto Arena.
Yep.
Going to Arlington, where they just had the Arlington Grand Prix, and do one in Dallas, like a street race there in Dallas. Going to Chicago and doing kind of like NASCAR did, a street race down in Chicago. And then the big one, New York. We did an April Fool's joke about putting a karting event inside Central Park. But like, again, when you think of where a lot of people live, those are the 4 major places where people live in the U.S.
Yeah.
Could there be again, it could piggyback off IndyCar, or it could be a separate entity where it has to have this massive corporate sponsor coming in to be able to fund it, to not only pay for the event itself happening, but also to pay the race teams or the drivers for make it a true pro show.
I will say this. Here's my answer. While it would be cool And yes, the pro show, like they would need to do it like, in my opinion, they would need to do it like motocross, right? Monster Energy motocross.
It's a one day, yeah.
It would need to be a 1 day show, maybe two, but 1 day show essentially. Like you got to package it into a 3 hour show people would want to watch, right?
Right.
You could do KA if you wanted. No kids. KA, Pro, Pro X30, Pro Shifter. That's it, right? And your Pro Shifter is the category. That's the one where driver introductions. It's like
So you think there'd have to be 3 categories?
Well, no. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to fill up enough. Like if you're thinking about a motocross race, it's not just 250 or 450, whatever it's called now, right? It's not just the 450 Pro class anymore. They still run the 250s, right? And they
still but those are basically bathroom breaks for everybody. They're there for
they fill a day, right? You can't have 40 guys and a show and it's going to be down for X amount of time. I don't think. I think that if somebody's going to buy a ticket,
you have to have other entertainment entities surrounding the actual race. Again, you're going to have to do that.
Here's the caveat.
Very similar to like Lancaster. Again, you do concerts or you do this or you do that. You know?
It would be cool. Will it happen? 99.9% never.
No.
The only way it would happen is if somebody like Monster or Red Bull came in, said, we want to do this. We'll do it all our way. But the racing will be actual legitimate racing. They'll work with somebody like Scusa or whoever to put the program together so that it was an actual well done show. You know, because like some of the stuff that that Xander and Kart Chaser are doing, the presentations are fantastic right now. Take that to the next level. They keep pushing, whatever it may be. The only way it happens,
right,
is if somebody with massive money and massive influence can come in and say, "Hey, this is the Red Bull kart fight."
Exactly, and that's what I'm looking at it as. Like that, it has to have funding. Obviously, that's the bigger part, and the funding has to come from a corporation that wants to highlight again this unique sport. And I think with the growth of our sport, we're seeing this. We're seeing a lot more money coming into it, and we're seeing the with F1 that side of things where there's becoming more and more karting all over the world, not just here in the US where we're getting more and more karting. It's happening all over the world. And I feel like there is an opportunity there. Like you said, Red Bull is a great name. Monster is another, because again, they have the funding and they have the pathway. Obviously Red Bull has all of their unique sports and activities that they quote unquote sponsor or highlight on social media. And I think that's a big part of it. And that's why you have to make it can't be kid oriented.
The company has to have extreme sports as part of their DNA identity, right? It's and I don't want a 15-year-old kid anywhere close to it. Honestly, 16 and up, that's it.
And that's it. Because again, you could take, again, these young kids who are looking to be, you can take these young kids who are looking to go up to that level, or like we said, the pro show style where drivers are, they're racing for these teams,
manufacturers,
the manufacturers, because again, it has to be a win-win for everybody. Obviously you don't want these teams and drivers spending, $50,000 to $100,000 a year on this program and get nothing in return. So it has to be kind of a win-win situation. But I just feel like, again, we don't know where the sport is going right now. Like we said, 2026 was a strange year, and who knows what's going to happen over the next 4 to 6, even 10 years with a sport, or what's going to happen, with regulations and all this other stuff. This could be an electric thing. Is that a possibility too, where it could be like, I know it's kind of gross to sound, but again, there seems to be a lot more corporate money behind electric stuff right now in this world.
So really, is this what's going to be? Here they come.
Well, listen.
Out of the final corner, here we go. Green, green, green. Bzz, 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 bzz,
yeah,
bzz, bzz,
right? But that, again, I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 4 to 6 years, or even in the next couple of months with everything like that. Again,
it's a fun conversation.
It's fun to see IndyCar and F1 going street racing, because it is bringing it right to the masses.
To the people.
it's, like I just talked with somebody on the golf course on Saturdays, like, I really like F1. I got into it with a show, and then I started watching it, and I was like, man, I've been missing it. And so, but I get it to where and that's the thing too. I think with IndyCar and F1, I think it's so much easier to watch because, like you said, the time frame is so much smaller than what we have with NASCAR. I think NASCAR is killing themselves with continuing with these 500-mile races that
Agreed.
you just take 2 naps and then you wait for the finish.
Yeah, it's not wrong. Yep.
And
I'll be honest, I do the same thing with Formula One. I watch the build up. I watch the first 4 laps, and then I fast forward.
And that's the thing I didn't want to tell them. I'm really bored by F1 because there's no racing anymore.
They don't race. Zero racing.
But that's the racing purist in me. And again, that's the thing I think with our sport too, is we gotta start welcoming more people who aren't motorsport enthusiasts, because it's becoming less and less of that. Because again, the cars that we have in today's world are all computer oriented, and not very many people know how to work on it, and they're not very mechanically inclined, or they just don't deal with it, and they just want to pay somebody to do it. So.
I like what you're saying though. If they've become a Formula One fan because they watch Drive to Survive or whatever it is, and they're excited about that, and they like the close connection and the deep understanding of the drivers through Drive to Survive, there have been IndyCar or top level pro drivers I've invited out to the Supernats. I'm like, you got to come see the Supernats. Come and see it for sure. And they've come to see it, and I've walked them through tents, and they're blown away. They're blown away by the racing. Like, they were there for Super Sunday. They couldn't believe the buzz and the excitement and the racing. They're like, this is absolutely amazing. Now, that's, as we know, they probably stay for 2 hours and leave because it's such a long day. But if that pro show, if an actual Red Bull kart fight pro show, remember we had the Red Bull kart fight. Remember that was the PRI show. Yeah, that's what it was called. I found the DVDs, by the way. I got to get those uploaded because
get those digital.
Yeah, get them digital because it would just save them over because again, it was the Red Bull kart fight that year. But if it was a 2-3 hour thing, 2 hours or whatever, and I think people would walk away going, man, that was cool. That was really cool.
Yeah. And again, it doesn't have to be street racing. It could be in parking lots, as we do with the Supernats and other temporary circuit events. And it's just funny how we're going in a reverse direction as F1 and IndyCar.
To a certain extent, yeah. All right, there you have it. Our chatter about the major karting street race in a large metropolitan area. Would we love it? Yes. Will it happen? Very likely no.
I forgot Detroit. Yeah, they probably should too, since it's Motor City.
That's true. Yeah, true enough. All right, back to what will be our final break. When we come back, David will talk about what's been going on podcast-wise, and then we'll look at what's coming up on ekartingnews.com. Be part of the premier regional kart racing series in the Lone Star State. Take part in the 2026 Texas Sprint Racing Series with their 5-race schedule that travels all over Texas and Louisiana. The season begins in March at the Speed Sports Racing Park in New Caney, Texas, before traveling east to NOLA Motorsports Park in New Orleans at the beginning of May. The newly renamed Amarillo Motorsports Park in Panhandle, Texas will host the middle stop of the season in June. Trips to Kart Moto and Speed Sports complete our calendar, and we're excited to welcome all of our racers back to the track. The Texas Sprint Racing Series will make its 3rd trip to the Kart Moto facility in Crescent, Texas at the end of August, after a month off in July, before drivers and teams will contest the series finale in late September, returning to Speed Sports Racing Park in Houston. Don't miss any of the action. Details on the rules and class structure, which includes the new Tillotson T4 senior category, can be found at TexasSprintSeries.com, along with a list of the full championship prize package for the official Superkarts USA and International Kart Federation Series. The Texas Sprint Racing Series will be one of the biggest programs in the U.S. in 2026. Make sure you're there. There's a new hot button name in American safety equipment, Stilo USA. Every product with Stilo is focused on safety, comfort, and function. Stilo USA is happy to provide you with the proper safety apparel to keep you protected on the track, and their karting lineup is second to none. New to the product lineup is the Stilo Carbon CMR karting helmet. Designed to revolutionize your karting experience, this carbon fiber crafted helmet is among the lightest on the market, without compromising on safety. The Stilo ST5 KRT karting helmet is manufactured using a lightweight and extremely strong composite material. The KRT provides an excellent fit and comfort level due to its dual density interior foam lining, and it's equipped with a symmetrical visor that offers excellent vision and an effortless central visor locking system. The Stilo ST5 CMR standard was developed jointly by the FIA Institute and Snell Memorial Foundation to ensure safer and lighter weight helmets for younger karters. Drivers rave about the superior comfort levels, lightweight construction, and the unparalleled field of vision that is perfect for the youth helmet line. Stilo didn't stop with their helmets either. The newly developed Carbon Curva rib protector is unlike any other on the market, with a form-fitting solution to offer superior protection. The Carbon Curva 8870 version is FIA homologated and includes a chest protector. Head to stilohelmets.com to review these products and many more to keep you safe on the track. Stilo. Any competition, one helmet.
Do you want to become a professional race car driver? Are you ready to take your first steps into car racing? If so, Allenberg Racing School is the ideal place for you to make that happen. And as a bonus, our school is located at everyone's bucket list track, WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. From your first steps in a Formula car, all the way to racing in the USF Pro Championships and the USF Junior Series, it's all part of our program at Allenberg Racing Schools and our competition operation, Berg Racing. At Allenberg Racing Schools, you'll learn from a former Formula One driver who will be driving a full-on carbon fiber tub Caddis race car with aerodynamic wings and racing slicks. Not an old technology tube frame car. You'll get more track time per day than at any other school. And our 3-day and advanced programs will have you prepared to race competitively with our Berg Racing program, which participates in both the Ligier JFC Championship and the USF Junior Championship. To learn more, check us out online at allenbergracingschools.com. Be a racer.
All right, folks, welcome back. Let's wrap up this edition of This Week in Karting. Rob Howden here alongside David Cole, episode number 101. It's August 25th, 2026, a bit of a break in the action, at least for us in terms of being on track for karting. We'll be back at it here in probably about 3 or 4 weeks' time. David, let's talk EKN podcasts, everything that we do in terms of podcasts, the many we've kicked out over the last 6 weeks, 2 months, all available on ekartingnews.com. You can, download it and subscribe. iTunes, Spotify, Podbean. You got it up on YouTube now as well. Lots of other podcast outlets.
Yeah, again, our debriefs, outlaps are typical, obviously, This Week in Karting. We just did a new On Track with CKNA, so make sure you check out episodes 3 and 4. And then, of course, the new episodes of The Hot Seat featuring Gus Lawrence, Adrian Renaudin, and the new one with Kyle Wick.
I know you're busy, and I know every time I listen to those when I'm on the treadmill, and they're awesome. I love the one-on-one with you and the guys, with Gus, Adrian, and I just listen to the one with Kyle. I know you're busy. I want more of those. They're awesome. Just I'll throw it there for you.
Yeah, I have a new one, not next week, but possibly the week after.
All right, there you go. We need to just do them live trackside too in the garage when we get down to Newcastle. Knock one at least out for CKNA.
Yeah, depending on how the week goes and the weather and all that stuff and the schedule. Again, we're waiting on details for that weekend. So that's a possibility. I have the headphones, so that's easily done. We can even do a video one right there as well, sure too. Enough. We'll figure it out. But
the first opportunity to listen to all the content comes out on the EKN Radio Network, folks. If you haven't downloaded the app, you can do that from wherever you downloaded your apps. It's also on the website, ekartingnews.com/live and ekartingnews.com/radio. Correct, Dave?
ekartingnews.com/radio. Yes. Yeah. What was the other?
Do we do the live one only when we're at an event?
Yeah, live is only when we're live. Yes.
There you go.
That's what had me confused. I'm like, what? Why are there two URLs?
24 hours, 7 day a week, the only karting radio station in the world. All right, David, let's talk about where we're going here. As I said, after that long 3-run events that you hit there with SCUSA, with Race Rotact, with USPKS, get some time to take a breather back home. But that's going to come to an end here. Not yet. It's still about a month's time away, but you're on track or heading back to the track on September 18th, 19th, and 20th.
Yeah, heading to the new Lorain, Ohio Kartplex in Lorain, Ohio, just outside Cleveland, Ohio. as the United States Pro Kart Series will host its first Lake Erie Grand Prix, which will be the fourth and final round of that championship program.
One of the things that we talked about in the newest episode of On Track with CKNA, talked to a bunch of Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals race winners. We're all part of that podcast. So really kind of kicking things off. I talked about the fact that we're going to be, focusing on the SCUSA Super Nationals for the next 3 months, but there's lots of racing as well going on. Plus the CKNA Grand Nationals, October 8th to the 11th down at Newcastle Motorsports Park. Sadly, I won't be there this year. David, you will be trackside. We may get you behind the wheel. We're not sure of that yet. But the bottom line is that race is going to be massive. Numbers are going to be coming in big time for the Grands. Again, October 8th to the 11th.
Yeah, registration will open after Labor Day. Yes, they're going to be planning another big one. Schedule, again, everything waiting on kind of all the details to come together. We just wrapped up the North program. East program wraps up this weekend, and then next weekend will be CKNA Canada's finale. So lots of Cup Karts racing over the next few weeks. So and then month of September will be all about registering for the Grands for everybody.
That's it. So essentially trackside to the end of the year, USPKS Lake Erie Grand Prix, Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals, Rock Vegas, and the Super Nationals. Is that it? 4 races for us for the rest of the year?
That's it, unless something pops up and comes on board. But yeah, that's it for right now. Obviously, we'll be a busy stretch after Cup Karts. We'll be getting ready for Rock Vegas, getting ready for Super Nats. So a lot there. But again, everybody's racing in December too. So you never know.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, something can happen then.
Yeah, we've both been invited down to the T4 night fight or the night race. So there you go.
Yeah. There's PRI show as well. So lots of racing 12 months out of the year. It never ends now, Rob.
I need a break. All right. That wraps things up. David, final thoughts?
Yeah, just happy to be back on This Week in Karting. Lots to talk about. We'll probably wait a week or 2 weeks before we come back again. There's just not much chatter going on in the news world, so we'll let kind of some things happen, and obviously things will be happening as we get closer, get the Cup Kart stuff information out, and more details coming up about Rock Vegas and Supernats.
There you have it, folks. That wraps things up for this edition of This Week in Karting, episode 101. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. On behalf of David Cole, folks, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.